Revelations 22.
Powerful speaker right there, bro.
See, the laws are what you're supposed to keep.
Right.
That's the thing. Yeah, you have grace to get yourself together. But the book, all it says is laws. Do these laws. Do these laws. Just imagine, like I say, if we kept the one Sabbath.
Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which always is true, and much respect to the Akim out there laboring at his work, and also to the believers that across the four corners of the earth, the hopefully elect to USA, shalom. So this lesson right here is going to be geared towards you Israelites who are seeking justification by the deeds of the law. You know, you're trying to take it upon yourself to be justified in the sight of the Most High by the keeping of the law. In which, when you do that, you know you don't know that you're greatly offending the Heavenly Father and their Son. All right, because the Most High, foreseeing that we'll be put into this position under the hands of our oppressor, and on top of that, being in this corrupt flesh, in which we can't keep the law in its entirety. The Lord implanted a wicked root within Adam from the beginning, and that trickled all the way down through his line. And here we are today in this wicked, corrupt flesh that is not going to profit us anything according to the Most High. And so again, this is why Yahweh Shai was sent forth to be an atonement for the sins of the nation of Israel. All right. Every year there's an atonement for the nation. All right, for the forgiveness of sins, for the remission of sins. All right. And so Yahweh Shai's blood that he shed, that covered everyone that believed back during that time, well, that blood was going to benefit them in this time as we're headed towards the time of judgment. And when you're coming into the time of judgment, which the Most High is going to judge the world by the law, all right, you don't want to have not one blemish on you in that day. And this is why Yahweh Shai had to be a perfect sacrifice, because what the Most High requires perfection. You see? So if you're boasting in the law as if you can keep it, and we know goddamn well that now one of you Israelites are keeping the law. And if you say that you're keeping the law, then you're being a hypocrite, man. Because when you go through the law, I'm going to put it on the screen right here. All right? When you go through the law, you got 613 laws, as we know. And the Lord requires perfection, not partiality. You know, you can keep 612 laws and break one of them. And guess what? You're guilty of breaking them all. And that's written right here in the book of James, the 2nd chapter, and the 10th verse. And so it said, for whosoever should keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. So why do you think that's written? All right? Why do you think that's written? For whosoever should keep the whole law and yet offend at one point, he is guilty of all. So let's say you kept 612 laws, you broke one. Well, what does that mean? That means that you're guilty of all. And I like to go to this law in Proverbs that is sure to confound a lot of you Israelites who are boasting in the law. You know damn well you ain't keeping this law right here. Now, when you go to Proverbs 24 in verse 9, it says the thought, get this, it says the thought of foolishness is sin. The thought of foolishness is sin. So to have a foolish thought is a sin, a transgression of the law. 1 John 3 and 4. So you gonna sit there and tell yourself that you never had a foolish thought? You see? So the Most High did this so that we can simply be condemned by the law, convicted of guilt by the law, so we'll look to Yahweh Shai. Once you're pretty much condemned by the law, then now you look for salvation. Now you're looking for somebody to redeem you from the law that you know you can't keep. All right, this was the mindset of Paul, as you get in Romans the 7th chapter. All right, who shall deliver me from this body of death? You see? So let's go to what is that? Let's grab this real quick. And again, the Most High said his son to be worshipped, right? And when you disannul his son, then you pissing the Heavenly Father off, man. As you get in Psalm the 2nd chapter, kiss the son lest he be angry, and you passing away when his wrath is kindled but a little. So when you go to Romans 3 and verse 19, it says, now we know that what things soever the law saith, it said to them who are under the law, right? So whatever the law says, it says to the Israelites. It says that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world, all right, the world of Israel may become guilty before the Most High. You see, so when you go into the law, as I showed you before, you see how you cannot keep the law in its entirety. Even that law I pulled out of Proverbs 24:9, the thought of foolishness. You see, and this is done to shut your mouth, man, to make you stop boasting in the law. Right? You got all these Israelite camps boasting. You got to keep the laws. We got to do this and do that, in which the law is good. Right? We require, or we desire, should I say, to keep the law, but we know we can't do it. That's why we need Yahushua again, man. Because when Yahushua comes back, the Lord's going to fulfill the covenant that's written in Jeremiah. Let's get that real quick. Because our forefathers, they always look for redemption. You see? They always waited on Yahushua because he was going to be that sacrifice that was going to bring us into perfection. So Jeremiah 31. And 30, let's see, and 33. Matter of fact, 31. Jeremiah 31 and 31. It says, but the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. All right, you got the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand. All right, took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break. You see, so the first covenant was broken. Now we need redemption from that covenant. It says, although I wasn't husband unto them, said the Lord, but this should be the covenant that I would make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Lord Yahweh. I will put my law in their inward parts, you see, and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they should be my people. So the Lord is saying, when Yahushua comes back in his perfection, once he redeems his elect, he's going to put his law within our inward parts. This means that we're going to have to get new bodies. That's why Paul said, who shall deliver me from this body of death? So right now, according to what Judges 5 and 11, where it says we're going to rehearse the righteous acts, all right? And that shows our faith. Because we're not saying that you're not supposed to keep the law, but what we're saying is that the law is not going to save you, but rather faith in Yahushua. So Romans 3, going back to Romans 3 and verse 19 again. Now we know what things soever the law saith, it said to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world of Israel may become guilty before the Most High. Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there should no flesh be justified in his sight. See that? For by the law is the knowledge of sin. Yes, so once you go into the law, you find out what you can't keep, and you could become condemned in the spirit. You see? So this is how you know that you sin. All right? And if you're being honest with yourself, you will say this. You will say, it ain't no way in the hell I'm keeping these laws. If you're honest with yourself. So 21 says, but now the righteousness of the Most High Yahweh without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets, okay, who spoke about who? Yahushua, who was that that gift to the nation of Israel, man. So it says, even the righteousness of the Most High Yahweh, which is by faith in Yahushua HaMashiach, unto all and upon all them that believe, all the Israelites that believe. And then this time it's going to be the remnant, the elect, for there is no difference. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High. All right, so understand that we have all sinned. There's no way that you can boast in keeping the law. All right, so if you want to seek justification by the law, not knowing and understanding that you are constantly breaking the laws every day, things that you don't even know about. It goes far deeper than just, not eating pork and not celebrating Christmas or Halloween, these holidays. We do things all the time, unknowingly, that we sin at. So Yahweh had to be that sacrifice to cover the elect and from all that guilt, man. Because we got guilt from our parents' lives, from this life, that has to be covered, you see? So, when you go down to verse 27, Romans 3 and 27, it says, where is boasting then? It is excluded. All right? By what? By what law? Of works? Nay, but by the law of faith. All right? So once you become condemned by the law, that eliminates boasting. And now you got to look to faith. You got to look through Yahweh. This is why he is so valuable. This is why he is so precious. All right? But a lot of you Israelites don't see Yahweh in that manner, man. All right? But the law is designed to condemn you. That's why the scripture said the letter killeth. It killeth because we can't keep it. All right? So in the kingdom, when Yahweh returns and he puts his law within the inward parts, then that's when we're going to be able to keep the law in its entirety. You see? And so from there, let's go to Galatians real quick. All right, Galatians 3. I think Galatians 5. And verse 4. All right, so for you who boast in being justified by the law, Galatians 5 and 4 says, Hamashiach is become of no effect unto you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, ye are fallen from grace. You see that? So to boast in the law is a slap in the face to Yahweh. There is no reason for Yahweh dying if we could keep the law. You see? And if you're going to overlook that, then hey, guess what? The Lord's going to require that of you in the time of judgment. You see? So again, Hamashiach or Yahweh is becoming of no effect unto you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, ye are fallen from grace. You see that? So there you go. Now let's go to precept is that. Let's go to Romans again. Let's go back to Romans. We're gonna close it out. So Romans 8 and verse 1, it says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahweh. See, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. So when you're walking after the spirit, that means that, all right, you're trying to keep the laws to the best of your abilities, but you're dependent on the faith in Yahweh, man. All right. You're not dependent on the justification of the law. You see? So again, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahweh, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. For the law of the spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahweh have made me free from the law of sin and death. You see? So Yahweh, with them down on the cross, once you come into this knowledge of truth, you're baptized by this gospel, you believe the support, then ultimately spiritually you become dead to this world. You die just like Yahweh did, only in spirit, and you become a new man, which is renewed within the spirit of Yahweh. All right, so from that point on, there is no condemnation to them which be in Yahweh Hamashiach. All right. So yeah, we'll keep reading. Romans 8 and 3. It said, for what the law could not do, and that it was weak through the flesh, right? Because the flesh can't keep the law. The Most High sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh. He condemned his sinful flesh by him keeping the law, man. All right? And so ultimately, he was that atonement to bring the nation of Israel back. See? It says, for that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. All right? So, let me get this real quick, and then we'll close it out. Let's go to Mark 12 and 31. Alright, Mark 12 and 29. Salaki. And Yahweh shall answer him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord Yahweh our power is one Lord, and thou shalt love thy Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. For this is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. See? And your neighbor is your fellow believer in the faith, man. All right? Because you got the Israelites as a whole, and you got the elect of the nation of Israel, man. All right? So it says, there is none other commandment greater than these. So you love the Heavenly Father Yahweh through His Son Yahweh Shai, and then you love your fellow neighbor as yourself, man. There's no other greater commandment than those. All right? So that pretty much fulfills the whole law. All right? We'll close out with this right here. Shalakia. So James 2 and 8. It says, if ye fulfill the royal law according to the scriptures, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well. Okay? So we love our neighbor by what? By teaching them the truth. That's why we out here on the highways and byways, you know, and telling our people this truth, building them up in the spirit, and ultimately preaching Yahweh Shai, man. All right? Salvation goes to Yahweh Shai, not the law. So with that, Lord willing, you're edified. Next time I say, Shalom, DTA, Bible Ball, soon.